Ow! Hair everywhere. I would like to say it's going to be fine, but I can already tell it's going to be not fine. The training is okay as long as I can get to the gym and just focus properly. Like for example, it's good that we were here today because I've already been here, so I kind of know the room. It's always difficult to be in a new room. So me and Jim Elli, we're I wouldn't say we are doing like a trip around the world right now. So we're just going from city to city, and we have seminars booked on the weekends, which is great. It's like full day seminars, about 7 hours, 3.5 hours of presentations, 3.5 hours of workshop. So next week is Barcelona, and the week after that it's Croatia. Then I'm going to Belfast on my own, and after Spokane, Washington, we're going to California, so that will be half of October and entire month of November. After that, we're going to the Dominican Republic and Puerto Rico, and then we'll head over to Miami because I have a meet in December.
Australia for a month, probably Dubai after in February, then the Arnold, and then I hope planning on going to New Zealand, hopefully to kind of give some more presentations and seminars over there.
I've never planned so much beforehand in my entire life. Like so easy to just go out and eat when you're traveling instead of cooking at the Airbnb. Well, that makes a huge difference. And then sitting on the airplanes is what I noticed is the most, really puts a strain on my hips to just be sitting for many hours straight. Usually I'm insanely immobile. Yeah, started pulling sumo in January, I think. And then I broke the European record in March. So I feel like it kind of came to me pretty naturally. I enjoyed it. It wasn't really that difficult to switch. I can just feel like today I really need to focus. And by so I have to kind of put all my focus even in my warm-up sets. So if someone like kind of talks to me too much before I'm about to lift, you know, just with a barbell or like 60 kilos, I get very like, we can talk in half an hour. I need to get things going. It's a lot of fun. You get to meet all these people, hear everybody else's story. Adds a lot of value to my own lifting and coaching. And then me and Jim decided to do a seminar in New York this summer. Kind of just came to the realization that it's way more fun to do it, have a travel buddy and do the seminars together with someone. Also, we are both, I'm onboarded on RTS, so we'll be RTS coaches, both of us. We have the same training perspective, training approach. I think it would be difficult to do it with someone that you're not fully agreeing with when it comes to coaching and training principles.
Yeah, there's a lot of potential ways to disagree when it comes to programming and coaching philosophy. And obviously that's why there are so many other companies, but one of the reasons why I even work with RTS is because from day one, when I started coaching and working with lifters, I understood the philosophy behind the program design. Maybe I didn't have the specific details for the strategies already. I didn't have a bunch of knowledge about variations of strategy and how to write things, but the principle understanding of how to think about writing programming, that was there. And so that made coaching work really well. Then when Isabella and I met and we started talking about training, it was obvious, like, same thoughts. And I've learned a lot from Isabella in terms of how to deal with athletes and clients. She has such a good background in studying psychology, and it's helped me really improve my abilities. I think a lot of people, when they start coaching, they think their role is to tell The role is to know more. The role is to say, hey, I know this, you don't, so do it what I say. But when you really dig deep into psychology and what matters in enabling lifter performance, it's usually more about seeing what they're capable of and shining the light on what they're capable of, so that they feel better about their performance, they feel better overall about what they can do. And without a coach, sometimes it's difficult to see those things in you and to have someone be like, hey man, look, this is, what are you good at? And then they tell you, and then you develop a plan and a system to get them to move towards where they want to be instead of telling them where they need to go. Then that's why the dynamic of our seminars works so well, because if she's talking about training or I'm talking about coaching, or we flip that, we just know that philosophically it's the same, coming from the same place, even if the direction is different.
I didn't expect it to come up that fast. That's good. What most people don't know, because I'm usually wearing clothes in public, is that I have freaky erectors.
Really?
They're like this size.
The process of working with anyone starts from this core level of what do you know about the lifter, what do you know about the person that you're going to work with, and how do we develop the lifter instead of how do I force my method onto the lifter. And like learning about that process, I think, can be really helpful. So I had to have that understanding because, you know, I didn't have that clout of like, oh, world champion, you know, I'm the best, so hey, everyone listen to me. I don't have anything, but I'm going to help you because I know I can get you better. Whether I'm good or not, I'm going to get you better. And that's the overall idea of the seminars. It's like, how can we get you better, regardless of where I am, and regardless of what I want you to do. It's what do you want to achieve, and do we have the knowledge, do we have the information to get you to that next step?
I have about 2 months of off-season training. So I'm only doing the comp lifts once per week. Whereas before, on the one frequency, I do the competition lift, sure, once per week, but I have a heavy accessory to that lift. So now it's like 2 days of Mondays squats and bench, and then Tuesdays deadlifts and bench accessory, and then Thursday, Fridays, just accessories. You say accessories or
We say accessories.
accessories? Yes. So session 3 and 4 is accessories. Better?
not political, but like in the early 90s, he was talking about like the worst conceivable thing you could think about when it came to like.
That's a good point.
30 years later, it was like, hey, I think we should do good for those in need. And people were like, you suck, Eminem, go back to the home state.
And a little bit of catching up for everybody. I know when you tuned in here expecting Isabella von Weissenberg, she has not made weight. It was quite the struggle, and she will not be competing today.
So I think last going off, she was 0.35 of a kilogram too heavy for the 63 class.
Close, but close will not cut it. She took all the time allocated.
My goal was to drop down and see how far I could take it. I know it sounds a bit like, yeah, sure. I started water cutting by doing first a water load, sodium load, cut water, and day of the meet I did hot baths. And down to around 64.5 kilos, things were running really smoothly. I was feeling fine. I was losing about 0.5, 0.7 kilos per bath, so that's pretty good. And then my last bath, that was around, like, I think 64.5 or something. Nothing happened. Have you ever been in a hot bath?
Yes.
So you know it's torture. That's like my definition of agony. I didn't even shower for like 3 days after. I was like, I don't want water in my body anymore. It was just awful. So I think that's also when I started to get really, really freaked out about being in that hot water and just like feeling terrible. Like you start to feel pretty sick after a while. And like just the water didn't come off. My body wouldn't let anything go. So, I mean, we got down to 63.5. By that time, I wasn't feeling very well. Once I hydrated and everything, I felt pretty good. But I'm kind of questioning whether or not I would have been able to perform anyway if I did manage to get down to 63. So that was a learning experience for sure. But that was also my intention with the whole thing. It was a personal project that I wanted to try out, a challenge that I set up for myself. So I really tried to drill that into my head as much as possible, that no matter what happens, I'm doing this to learn something from it. And I sure did. But I can say that I honestly didn't expect the emotional, psychological setback of not being able to get up on the platform after all that hard work that I put into training for that many months. So it's been kind of tough. It's been difficult to get my mentality right back on track after missing it. But I don't know. It's a lot of positive things to learn from fucking up as well. What I learned most of all is how much I'm actually capable of pushing myself, which was pretty cool. Overall, just that's kind of my philosophy, that no matter what I experience, it's something that I have to take a closer look at and see what I can understand from it. And putting yourself into very uncomfortable positions is like, what better way to actually get a better understanding of how you work when things aren't actually easy for once. Not saying that things have always been easy, but this was like the epitome of struggle. I learned a lot about motivation, my own intrinsic motivation, what drives me, my purpose in training, what my actual goals are. And I kind of also understood that I'm willing to aim pretty high. And that's a good thing, even though you won't always get to the finish line. You have to just understand that you're going to have setbacks if you aim high, I think. Before Worlds, I had already decided I didn't want to do Europeans. because of all my travel plans and work plans. And I think about 5 seconds after missing weigh-in, I told Mike, I'm doing Europeans. And I kind of had that mindset that like I'm gonna do a comeback in December, give it my all, and try and like repeat this process. Probably took me about a month or so before I realized that I was just like beating myself up. It wasn't actually a healthy approach to moving forwards. So start of this session here, I told you I trained through the adductor pain for about 5 weeks before actually halting and nursing it, addressing it. That's a huge part of it. Like, I wouldn't accept that I was actually not training with a healthy mindset. That's a balance act for sure. I've always struggled with performance anxiety before meets. I always have like very high expectations on myself, and I feel like I need to be at a certain level to feel good about my performance. And I'm always trying to balance that and make it a motivational factor, not something that's like killing off my joy in training. And for the past years, things have been going pretty well in that regard. And just after Worlds now, I felt like I'm back to square one. I need to start working on this again. It's hard. It's really difficult. But I will tell you that it was the first time the thought entered my head that I could win. And that was a new experience. That was like game-changing for how I performed in training, just realizing that shit, I'm capable of a lot. That was pretty cool to allow myself to think like that, even though that wasn't the explicit purpose. It's kind of interesting to reach that state of mind where I could actually see myself on the top of a podium. I'm sure I would have had that mindset going in the 72 as well, just considering how well training had been going. Kimberly's been on the world stage since I started lifting. If I were to think about that part of me who wants to win, it's not because somebody else isn't there. Winning, again, not so much about who else is on the platform, but more about what you can bring to the platform. Yeah. To the platform. Yeah. Hey, look. I have... I always said that if I go over to weightlifting, I still want Mike as a coach. He's like, I don't know if I can help you with that. I'm like, you're sticking with me all the way to Tokyo.
2020, baby.
It's like 18, just trying to figure it out as we go along. Is this right? It's like, I don't know. I kind of let my air out all the way down, so like, yes, I mean, I want to try getting down to 63 again. I need to do it on my own terms, and the timing needs to feel like it's right. And I definitely need to take longer to do it than last time around, more gradually. I mean, honestly, during the diet that I was on previously, my best performance in my entire life was around 68, 69 kilos. So I don't feel like it's something that necessarily affects my strength. I don't see it as a negative. More like it's the consistency, and again, like traveling and being on a diet is shit. It's difficult. So.
Lock it in. Perfect. Two. Good. Perfect. Nice.
Nice. Cool. 7 sets. It was actually very, very easy. I think that's progress.